Probably gonna get a lot of flack for this video, even though nobody watches it. But hey, it happened. Um, Hi, my name is Kelsey. This is Just Breathe Kelsey. Um, it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, every week there's a video, every 2 weeks there's a video, or I come out here every month and have a video. I come out with a video when I feel like coming out with a video. Like today or right now, I'm recording this video because I just woke up from a nap, hence the scarf. Um, and I had a dream that I feel was one, I wanted to share it. And two, I just feel like I don't know what the meaning behind it is, or even like what my subconscious is trying to tell me or anything. So here we go. Again, this is a dream. This is not what happened in real life. I live on my own. I don't have anybody staying with me. It was a dream. So in the dream, I am I assume I'm living with my best friend, and we're in like, it's almost like a loft type of apartment. And of course, it's a 2-story loft or a 2-story apartment. And there's like the downstairs and there's the upstairs. And it's kind of weird how it was formed out, because it's almost like the downstairs is a shared space, and then when you go up, the first room is your neighbor's or the neighbor's room, and then you go through the door and it's mine and my best friend's area. And there's the bathroom. But it's not like the whole house itself is not together. Like, it's a separate area. So mine and hers are separate from this one bedroom in the place. But our apartment is our apartment. You close that door, that's our apartment. So I go upstairs and I'm wanting to get my Bible, or I'm going upstairs to go get something to show my friend, my best friend or whatever. And I'm passing by the neighbor's daughter's room. And I happen to look in there, and as I'm passing by, I'm like, is that my Bible? And I was like, no, I don't think so. Maybe it's just a coincidence that they have the same Bible as me. So I go back down, and then some reason I go right back up, and I look again. I'm like, no, that's my Bible. And I didn't think the little girl was in there. Her daughter was in there. So I turned on the light and I see legs kicking, and I was like, I'm not going to go in there then. Because I was about to take it back. But I seen her and I was like, oh, shoot. And when she came out, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I went in my room, and I walked right out and I went back downstairs. And something led me to go upstairs, and before I came back downstairs, I had closed my bedroom door, because we left the connector open, because it was the daughter's room, and then you pass through the connector hall, or entryway. And then it's the bathroom, my best friend's room, and then my room. So you walk up straight ahead, the neighbor's daughter's room. Next to her, past the entry, is the bathroom, my friend's room, and then my room is just when you turn and go straight, that's my room. And I had closed my door before I head back downstairs after I told the girl I was sorry. Something led me to go upstairs, and when I go up there, I notice my bedroom door is open. And I see the little girl standing there, and I said, "Hey, I told you I was sorry. Leave." And she scurries off to her side. So I'm like, you know what? No, I'm about to close the connector. And I closed it thinking that the connector, because you know when you go to like hotels or whatever, and there's like the connector to 2 hotel rooms, they both have locked sides. Like this side is locked, the other side is locked. And if you both want them open, then you have to unlock them from your side in order to open it. So in my mind, in the dream, I was thinking, oh, well, I know that it's going to lock, and I probably got the key to it. Ooh. But I probably have the key to it. And, you know, this dream kind of sounds familiar, like I've had it before. That's interesting. It feels like a deja vu moment. But anyway, so I closed the connector door thinking that was going to stop the little girl from coming in and going on our side. And I went right back downstairs. Something led me to go up again. Well, I told my friend, and I was like, this little girl keeps going in on our side. And me in the dream, I know that I keep certain things in my house. So in the dream, I felt like this little girl is coming over to my house, and I don't know if she's going through my stuff. I don't know if she's messing with stuff or anything. So I'm telling my best friend, I'm like, yo, this little girl is coming in on our side, and I don't appreciate that. And she was like, well, Kelsey, are you sure you're not like leaving it open, or, you know, you sure you're not just forgetting every time that you go up there? I said, no. And I say my friend's name. I'm like, no, I closed the door. So she was like, well, let me go up there. So I believe another friend of ours came at this time because it was somebody I knew, and we were, all 3 of us was going up the stairs. And the third friend is someone that I feel like I went to school with or something. And she was holding like roses. And she was in front of me. And as we're walking up, I said, see, that I just closed that door. And I was getting riled up. And my friend was like, well, Kelsey, calm down. Calm down. I said, no, like she's coming in on our property. Like regardless of however this is set up, we all don't live together. Like, yeah, the living room is shared, but this part is our part. She has no right to be on our side. Plus, she doesn't need to be on our side for any reason. Like, yeah, I came, like, and even then, she has my Bible, so I have the right to take my stuff back. She has no reason to be on my side. She has no reason. She is, 1, little, not my child. 2, what is she even doing over there? And I don't want people in my space. Because like I said, I hold things and I don't need other people in my space. So my friend follows me. She's like, well, let's see if she took anything. I'm like, I don't care if she didn't take nothing. I don't care if she looked at my bed. She don't need to be over here, girl. I'm trying to not say my best friend's name, but like, I'll just say sis. Like, she doesn't deserve to be over here, sis. Like, regardless of the fact, I don't care if she didn't take nothing. The fact is, she getting too curious, and she thinking she big and bad because she's coming over here without my permission and thinks this crap is funny. So we're in my room and we turn and we see, I assume the mom's friend, and like 2 or 3 other little girls, and I believe like the littler women, girls, is her daughter and or her daughters and or her daughter's friends. So I was like, okay. And they looked at me and they was kind of kikiing and giggling, and I was like, okay, we gonna see. I said, and my friend, she tried to stop me because I was like, okay, hold up. So they go downstairs and I'm going down the other set of stairs, and they reached the door and I said, excuse me. My best friend's right behind me. I said, excuse me. And I didn't know which one was the mom, who wasn't the mom. I just said, excuse me, excuse me. And I kept saying it. And I know I was saying it loud enough. And even my friend, she was like, excuse me, excuse me. And I said, I don't appreciate your daughter coming in on my side. And she turns around like all vindictive. I don't know if that's the right, like sinister almost. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I know you heard me. I said, I don't want your daughter on our side. She's coming in over on our side and she doesn't need to do that. I would appreciate it if you tell her to not do that. And even my friend was like, we noticed that your daughter is coming in on our side and we would gladly appreciate it if she would stop doing that. She's being a little bit more polite, and I'm like, no, I don't want her to come over at all. And her mom was like, well, she's not going to do that. And I said, no, she said, no, I'm not going to say that to her or something like that. Either way it goes, she said no. And my friend was like, excuse me? And I was like, what you mean no? And she was like, what do I mean no? I'm not going to tell her that she can't be over there. And I said, so it's okay for her to come on my side, but it's not okay for me to come on your side? I said, that doesn't make no sense to me. Because why? Because if she comes over here on my side and she sees something and something happens to her, then it's on me. No, no, I'm not allowing her to come over on my side. And she was getting ready to say something, but I woke up, and it was a good thing I woke up because I was about ready to stole on old girl, the child, the mama, the best friend, whoever she was in the back, the dog that wasn't even there. Like, I could feel myself getting mad, and I knew I was mad when she first said no. And like, if you grew up in my household, when you say no, you get hit with a, what you mean no? And then after that, it's fair game on what happens next. But so I knew I was getting mad. And like my friend, she was trying to stay calm and things like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want her in my space. She's not allowed to be over there. She has no reason to be over there. And second of all, they took my Bible. So y'all been doing this for a while. And I was like, you know what? At this point, I'm about to risk myself going to jail because somebody about to get hurt, and it ain't gonna be me. And if I do get hurt, it's because I deserved it. Or not deserved it, but it's because it was worth it. Because I'm standing my ground. And I was about ready to say, you know what? I'm moving out then. And that's probably what they wanted in the dream anyway to begin with. Because they was kind of, of a certain group that don't like certain people. So, um, uh, but like even then I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm about to move out because I'm not going to allow a child to come in on my space, and whether she's vandalizing it or not vandalizing it, she's not allowed in my space at all. It's already bad enough she took my Bible, and I seen it and know it's mine, and I gave her the benefit of the doubt, like, oh well, maybe she maybe I gave it to her, or maybe she's borrowing it, or maybe, supposedly she has the same exact Bible that I do. And I was like, no, that's mine, you know? But also, well, I guess it is a dream, so I wouldn't know if I gave it to her before or whatever. But even then, if I gave it to her, I want it back. Like, shoot, if you borrowing it, I'm telling you, you can borrow it for 2 weeks. This ain't the library. So I just thought it was funny that my friend, she was like, when the lady first made a comment, she said, "Excuse me," because I feel like that's her, and then she'll get to the, well, what you mean, like, whereas I'm like, what do you mean, no? But yeah, I thought it was a very interesting dream, and I don't know, like, the whole, I don't know what the meaning behind it is. I've been reading the book of Luke, or I've been studying the book of Luke on my own time, and I've been having like a lot of questions about Jesus, his disciples, and just the Bible stories in general. And I was telling my friend today, because we had like a little makeup day or whatever, and I was telling her that there was a verse that stood out to me when I was reading Luke chapter 6 yesterday. And I don't know the specific verse. I mean, I could look it up in my thing, but I want to just kind of go off dome. But there's a verse in Luke chapter 6 that says Jesus and his disciples came down from the mountain, and there was people that was waiting on him, or as he was coming down, there was people that wanted to see him and get healed from him. And like every time that they would touch him, Jesus, they would get healed. And it says that the power was leaving Jesus. And to me, I was like, wow, that really humanizes him for me, because we think of God and Jesus, really, but more so Jesus. For me, I always think of Jesus as like this, like a light bulb. And what I mean by that is he's always on. Like, no power drains from him, because he's the Almighty. He's the Son of God. He is God and man image, human image. But like, basically, he doesn't get tired. And reading that, it just goes to, or even just like the book of Luke, you always see that, when Jesus gets time to be alone by himself, he goes and rests. Or when he's done for the day, he goes and rests. He goes and finds a quiet space. He goes and to lone places and talks to God, or he goes to lone places to rest. And it's like, wow. And I mean, they say in the Bible, on the seventh day, God rested, because everything he was done with everything he created. And to me, it also says in the Bible that a day to us is 1,000 years for God. And if you ever like drawn something, or if you ever painted something, or like worked with clay, or just anything artistic, the amount of time, the amount of skill, the amount of vision, and the amount of craftsmanship that you have to do, it takes a long time. Like doodling, that's, that's quick. But like if you are a person that draws portraits, like you're really good at drawing faces or drawing like landscapes of trees, water, and you want to get that good detail in, the last, like, I'll say water. You want to get the ripples of the water and you want to make it to where you can like actually almost touch it and it visually looks like what it is. It takes a lot of time and detail and patience. So imagine God creating everything to the last T. If he's creating a bird, he has to mark every bird, color. Well, I didn't say that right. If he's drawing a bird and he's doing the feathers and hairs on the bird, he has to mark every hair and color every hair on the bird. And there's a lot of birds. So let's say there's 1 billion birds and you're taking your time. That's a lot of time. So that within itself is mind-blowing. So it just, going back to that, even God rested on the seventh day. So Jesus had to do the exact same. But I just thought that was really interesting because that made me like, oh, shoot. Like, I never thought of, like, him losing his power or losing energy. Basically, energy. Like, he needed sleep. He needed rest. He needed time to be alone with God. So, yeah. But, yeah. So that's I guess that's what I've been doing since school has been out. I've been wanting to get back into reading my Bible and studying it on my own. I used to, well, I guess it's not that they've just stopped doing it completely, but Josh and Easy, they do like biblical case studies where they go through the Bible and go over different relationships in the Bible. And they haven't been doing it because they've been busy with other things, which is fine, But I really enjoyed it because it broke it down, and I feel like, I'm getting older, and yeah, I can read the Bible and I can take everything as truth and be like, oh, okay, and study it in a way. But I also want to have conversations of the Bible. And I feel like it helps me better understand it. If I'm having conversations and asking questions. Now, necessarily, the questions I ask, of course, not everybody's going to have the answer to, because the person that has the answer is up there. But, it just, it like my friend said, it's very thought-provoking when I ask like certain questions. Like, I asked a couple of people that I talk about religion with, do they believe that Adam is the son of God? Because also in Luke, it was talking about Jesus's genealogy. It was saying Jesus, the son of, Joseph, the son of this person. And then it just kept going down generation after generation. And it was 75 generations before Jesus even, or 75 or 74, depending on how you look at it. But like, there was 75 generations before Jesus even came. It was like God, Adam, Cain and Abel, this person, this person, this person, this person. And, but when you get to the end, it says Adam, the son of God. And I was like, is he though? Because in the scripture, it says that God created Adam and he created him from dust, molded him like clay and made him in his image. And I'm not denying that Adam isn't God's son, but I feel as though Jesus is more God's son than Adam was. Because, yes, Adam was the first person to be made or be born, but he didn't have God in him. Though he was right next to God and had a close relationship to him, like they was best buds and friends at this point, I feel as though it was easier because Adam was created by God, it was easier for Adam to sin against God. Whereas we hear about the story of Jesus being tempted. Well, he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and during that time he was tempted by the devil. And all throughout that time, even though he was being tempted, he never sinned. He never gave in. Now, that's not saying that, there might have been a couple of times where he was like he thought on it, but he didn't do anything. So it's like, it also says that Jesus was, as he grew from a baby into an adulthood, he grew in both body and in spirit, wisdom, which is the Holy Spirit. So he grew in both knowledge and wisdom and in human form. So like he had temptations, like he had hunger pains, he had thirst, dehydration, but I still feel as though he was able to fast for 40 days is because he technically didn't need, food. He didn't need water like we need water and food. Like what they say, it takes 3 days in order for the body to if you don't drink water for 3 days, it does something to the body. But like we can go 40 days without food, but we can't go 3 days without water. Like that's a human body. But he fasted and he got into his word. The word was feeding him. So that's why I'm like, it was easier for him to not sin against God because he had God in him. Whereas Adam didn't have God in him. And the main reason why he was tempted is because the serpent said, if you eat of this apple, you will be like God. So it just made me think. And I like having those conversations because again, no, we don't know the answer as the reason why. We might not get the answer. I don't know. But either way it goes, I like having those types of conversations about the Bible and also getting other people's opinion. And then also seeing where other people are on their journey and what they believe and how they see things. Because, and also it sparks up a conversation too. But yeah, my mom, she had the same exact Bible. And I feel like that's why maybe in the dream I was like, no, that's my Bible. Because I don't know a lot of people with this same exact Bible. And as you can see, it kind of is tearing. And I feel like that was the main thing that ticked me off or set me off of no, that's my Bible. And you taking it. So, but no, my mom, she used to have the same exact Bible that I have now, and she used to read it a lot, and I'm reading it. It's not that I didn't read it when I first got it, but I'm reading it a lot more. I'm reading it slower and not just speed throughing it. I'm taking my time and actually writing down certain scriptures I like. I'm digesting certain scriptures. Like I'm actually like looking through the dictionary on certain words, even like the simple words. Like what's a word I looked up? Like deep water. Like I know what the deep water is, but like what is the literal term? And I'll open it for that. Even though like this is like an old dictionary, so like a lot of the word there's a lot of words that aren't in this one. I still like using it just because I like, you know, having the book. So let me see if I can find it. Oh, I'll show you how like I take my notes. So like all this is Luke chapter 6. Like I highlight things, I'll do like arrows on certain things, and I'll just write it down like I'm actually studying. I'll have questions and all that stuff. So, okay, here it is. And this one, this is Luke chapter 5 that I wrote down. So deep, the definition of deep is the middle or the most intense part. And then I looked up intense and it says existing in an extreme degree. So I wrote down what I take of it. It says most times that's where God meets us is in deep waters, because when we are healthy, we don't go to the doctors, only when we are sick. And I took that as when we are at our lowest low, like when we are in an extreme, intense situation, that's where God meets us. Or, you know, that's when we feel like this is when we need God. Not when we're healthy. It's when we're desperate or sick. And I mean, we need God through and through. But in our mind, that's when we need him the most. And that's where a lot of people meet him. Like if you hear of people's testimonies and things like that, they'll say, you know, I was at my lowest of low and I told God, like, God, if you get me out of this, I will serve you. And then right there in that instant, it's like it goes 180. It turns around. And in that moment for them, and it's not saying that they probably won't experience it again, but that's when you see shift happen. So I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, that's how I've been doing my Bible study. And it's helping me. Now again, you know, I don't necessarily remember everything, but like I write things down that I find interesting or something that speaks to me. So yep. So, but other than that, like I said, I don't know, because I know some dreams have meaning to them, or some dreams might have like a hidden message to them. Because I remember I had a dream about this person that I used to hang out with in Arizona. And in the dream, she cut her hair and she had it styled a certain way. And I would say like a week later, she cut it in that same exact style or the same length that she had it at. Now, it wasn't styled the same, but she had it cut the exact length in the dream. So I do believe that dreams speak to us in different ways, or has like certain things it wants to tell us or whatever. And with this one, I do not know. I really don't know. But I'm kind of, I hope it's not anything bad. I hope it's something that's good, if that makes sense. So, but yeah. So, I'm done. I'm gonna go eat. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I had to say. No, that's it. I'm gonna go eat. Bye. I don't know why I did that, but bye.